he just left him there. That's what I can't forgive.
That's my boy. Yo, T, I'm really happy you're home.
Hey, Crack C5 Spot, I got one of the stars of the brand new movie Need for Speed in the studio. This man needs no introduction, but some people are just getting hip to the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Kid Cudi.
Hi, what's up?
Man, yo, congratulations on the brand new movie Need for
Thank you,
Speed.
man.
Because, like,
Thank you.
this movie showcased something that I saw it a long time ago. You can act for real.
I'm all right. I do okay. I've been blessed. You know, you go in a bunch of auditions and you hope you get something, and you know, you run into a couple people that believe in you, and it's awesome. You know, I'm excited.
I mean, I think it's to this point now where you've kind of proven it's not a fluke, from How to Make It in America to Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To this thing, which is like a big, like, the anticipations for this movie is high.
Yeah.
And after seeing it, man, it's like, yo, Scott Miss Cudi is legit.
Yeah.
They didn't even call you Kid Cudi in the movie. They called you by your government joint. You know what I mean? Like, you're legit.
Well, that was strategic, man. I think ever since How to Make It, when I got that opportunity, because that kind of, for a lack of a better phrase, kind of fell into my lap, that opportunity. And, you know, ever since then, even when we got to develop the second season for How to Make It, I was adamant about telling the writers and the producers and the director of the show that I did not want to play a character that was in any way, shape, or form reminiscent of my musical persona.
Right.
And for me, it was important to separate the two things. You know, Kid Cudi, I am a musician, you know, but then also I have this other passion that is acting, and it's completely separate, you know. And to separate the two will allow people to watch a film like Need for Speed and consume me in the character, you know what I mean? So since then, it's been a lot of, you know, making sure I'm choosing the right things, and I'm not just jumping at the first opportunity to do a movie. I'm not in any rush. I take the same plan of attack that I do with my music with film. Just like I don't do every feature with everybody, and I'm not all over the place. It's gonna be the same deal with my acting career, and I'm not in any rush. You know, I'm still very young, you know, and I just turned 30, by the way, everyone.
Yo, happy belated birthday, man.
Thank
now,
you.
is there any movies that you wish you tried out for that were offered to you that you didn't, that turned out to be something that could have been like, oh man, this could have been the one?
Nah, not yet. I mean, I've auditioned for movies and lost roles to people, and I never get bitter. I know a lot of actors, they get down on themselves and get bitter and upset. I look at it like everything happens for a reason. It wasn't my destiny, and I just take it in stride. I don't really dwell, you know.
This movie, Need for Speed,
Yeah.
is a hell of a ride. I mean, it's one of the movies where, like, you know, you go into it, you know it's a video game. It's based off a video game, but you don't know what story they're going to tell when you get into it. But, like, it's a fun ride from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like, did you see any of yourself in the part of Maverick?
Well, in the script, Maverick was 300 pounds Hispanic before I walked in the room. So I'm the complete polar opposite of their first original idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? Half the weight. You know, I'm kind of Spanish-ish. You know.
That's enough
So
to get
like,
you
yeah,
by.
it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. You know, and it was kind of, you know, what was the question? I forgot because I kind of went.
I mean, how much of yourself did you see in the character?
Well, you know, like I said, coming into the room, they had another idea of the character, and I think with me, with all my opportunities that I've had, even walking into these rooms and doing these auditions, people have a notion of who you are.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, he's a rapper, you know, whatever. But, you know, I walked in the room, I was able to create this character and build on him over time with the director, and a lot of the goofiness that my friends know about me is in Benny, but it's to an extreme and tailor-made for the character. You know what I mean? Like, everybody in my life knows that I have this silly persona. It's like 90% of the time.
Right.
This goofball, you know? And I just want to clear that up because I feel like everyone in the hip hop community or people in the world just think I'm this dude just like rah, all about the music.
It seems like
angry
there's
all
this
the time.
weird.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a weird stigma that Kid Cudi is this very intense dude, and like he's hard to figure out. I mean, which I think that's kind of what you want to be because it makes you more of an enigma. You know what I'm saying? Like when I heard Kid Cudi, when I heard you was coming through, I was like, dope, because like I haven't really seen that very many interviews with you,
Yeah.
so you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie yesterday, so as a fan of hip hop and wanting to see hip hoppers do well on the big screen,
Right.
I was proud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, at the end of the day, Kid Cudi, good dude, thumbs up. And I gotta commend you on something, brother. You got this song on your last album called Immortal.
Yeah.
That is like, they should be playing it at the Olympics. You know
I
what I'm
know,
saying?
I
It's
know.
one of those songs
It's
that
a
when
good
you
one.
hear it, it just makes you feel a certain way and puts you into a certain type of mood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, it's designed, all my music is designed to, you know, be there for the people to take on their quest in the day-to-day. You know, guide them and give them some answers when they need them. And Immortal, for me, songs like that, whether it's Heart of a Lion or anything I do where I'm trying to make an anthem, I always try to think about, like, man, the person that's going to listen to this song, whether it's an athlete who's about to go play a big game or a kid that's about to go take a test, their final, and they have to pass this test to pass the 12th grade to graduate. I wanted to make a song that would give people the confidence as soon as they heard it, to make them feel invincible, unstoppable, you know? And the same goes with, you know, Unwittable, which is on the album. Indica, to me, was supposed to be the inspirational album out of all of my albums, you know what I mean? You know, Man on the Moon 1 and 2 were very emotional and dark in some places, and it was a lot of my childhood stories and stuff like that, my come up. But Indica was more about me as a man being comfortable with this position that I'm in as Kid Cudi, and, you know, stepping up to the plate and bringing more positivity. And you know, I think songs like Immortal is the essence of what Indica was supposed to be.
And I think some of the best music, even when you think about things that you love, like certain Michael Jackson records, when you hear them, they just make you feel a certain way. As an artist, that is the epitome of what you want to reach and achieve, to be able to make that song that connects and touches people in a certain way. So that's dope.
Thank you.
In addition to that, I mean, like, you know, anybody who follows your life path knows that you battled with some things that you seem to overcome.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to any people that's out there struggling with things, whether it be like, you know, addiction in any way, size, shape, or form, or just like, you know, insecurities about themselves, what kind of advice do you give them, or would you give them to help them overcome what they're fighting with?
Well, for me, I just got to this point, and especially up until recently, I gave up liquor. I don't drink anymore. It's been 5.5 months.
So you've kicked it off.
Well, the booze was a new thing for me. I didn't realize that I was an alcoholic all these years. I was, you know, I had a problem, and I think with any addiction, you have to be ready to make the choice, whether it's cigarettes or anything. You have to just commit, and you just have to stick with it. And I think for me, with liquor, you know, because I stopped everything cold turkey. When I had my cocaine problem, I stopped cold turkey. I didn't go to rehab. I don't believe in these things.
Right.
Some people need the extra help. Not me. I wasn't a drug addict before this crap. I wasn't doing cocaine. I wasn't getting wasted every night because I didn't want to be alone. I wasn't this dark person before the madness. I was a whole nother dude, you know? I don't even think I smoked weed as much because we couldn't afford it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I lived in Ohio. There's no good bud out there. So, well, it probably is now. But, you know, you just have to make the choice and decide the person you want to be and stick with it. Because you get to a certain age, people around you are not going to be on that roller coaster all day long, ready for you to go up and ready for you to go down and stick with you through all the madness. Like, people want you to be one person and stick with it, you know? And I chose to, you know, be clean and be sober and get my life together, you know, for myself, for my health, for my daughter, for my family, you know?
That's what's up. What do you think happens in this business to where so many people kind of like fall into that spiral and can't get out of it?
Well, me, I couldn't deal with fame. Short and simple. I didn't
Is it
understand.
depressing?
No, it's like, for me, I could not wrap my head around the fact that a week before I blew up, I was just a regular dude, and then the week after it was on. It was a whole nother thing. I actually, when I first started getting recognized in the street, it was like cool, because it wasn't extreme. It was just like, oh man, I like your music, man. Can I take a picture? And it was chill.
Right.
But then when it started to be everywhere I went, it was hard for me. because I never wanted to make that adjustment. I didn't want to be like, oh, now I'm famous now, I guess I got to live a celebrity lifestyle. Like, spent 23, 24 years of my life, you know, living a normal life, you know what I mean? And you know, it was hard for me to feel like I needed to make that switch just because of my job, you know?
Yeah, what was the first day that made you feel like everything's different now? Like, after what point? After what record?
I think after my mixtape, A Kid Named Cudi, was when I realized that things were changing, because that was the first real body of work I put out, and I saw that people were feeling what I was doing. And, you know, I was getting recognized for Day and Night for a while. And then also some people didn't even know that I was the dude who did Day and Night, because there wasn't a video. So people didn't even put a name to the face for a long time.
Right.
So I was able to
Maneuver through
the
it,
life,
yeah.
you know what I mean, get by. But I would say it was that mixtape, man. I think that was the first thing that really introduced people to me and what I'm about.
It seems the feelings that she had her through. Cause day and night, the lonely loner seems to